Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So finally we are going to do tinctures. I'm going to talk about tinctures. It's not going to be a full thing about tinctures, but it is going to be a small one. We're just going to do 2 specific tinctures. I'm going to explain to you exactly what we're supposed to do when we make tinctures. Well, not what we're supposed to do, but what you can do when you make tinctures. And we're going to do one white willow bark tincture. And white willow bark is known for its pain relieving abilities, and because they used to use this for making aspirin, it has salicin in it, salicylic acid in it, which is the main ingredient in aspirin that stops the pain. So we're going to make a willow bark tincture, and then we're going to make a sleep tincture. We're going to use multiple different herbs to make the sleep tincture. So that's how we're going to do this today, and I hope that you enjoy my video, and I hope that I do a good job explaining the things that I need to explain to you in this video. Okay, so you're not going to see the end result because we're making it now. It takes 10 to 14 days for the tincture to be effective. Sometimes people want you to let it sit for 4 weeks for it to be as effective as you want it to be. Depending on the stuff, I usually just wait 2 weeks, but I'm also I always forget about them, so they end up going for the full month anyway. But you don't have to do it for a full month. It can be done in 10 to 14 days. This is what it usually ends up like. This is a raspberry leaf tincture I made. You see how clear it is? I mean, it's not fully clear, of course, because it still has the stuff from the tincture, from the plant material in there, but there's not a lot of cloudiness, which is important. So we probably won't get, we will strain a different pain tincture that I made a long time ago, so we can see how to get rid of all of that mess. But we will make the tincture today. We'll make a willow bark tincture, and then we'll strain my pain tincture. All right, which by the way has been sitting for like a month. So, all right. So, typically people use 1:5 ratio tinctures. In order to know that you made it 1:5, you have to do a little bit of math. It's actually really simple math. It's not as difficult as it may seem. You take the measurement of how many grams of whatever herb that you're putting in there, and you're going to multiply that by 5. And then once you finish multiplying that by 5, you add that answer. You're going to add that amount of 100 proof vodka or whatever alcohol you want into the mixture. So the folk method is to put as much of the stuff you want in there, and then fill up the alcohol up to an inch above whatever the plant material is that you put in there. So it's okay if you want to do the folk method. It's just as good. But if you want to be, statistical, you want to really get it in there, this is how much I want to put in here, and I want to make sure I know exactly how much I want to put in there. I want to do the ratio thing. So let's get started. I need one of these. I should have came. This will show me. It has milliliters in here. I'm going by milliliters, so I'm doing grams and milliliters, and this will tell me how much milliliters I'm putting in here once I put it in here. And you're gonna want something that you can pour the stuff into, because you don't want to make it. You don't want the tincture to be you don't want it to be off. I have a balance here, and it tells me how many grams of whatever I'm using is in here. And what you're gonna do is, when you get it, if you don't know, you're gonna turn it on, and when you put something on there to hold the herb, you're going to tear it, and that puts it down to 0. I'm putting too much pressure on it. That's going to put it down to 0, and then you can measure out without the jar or whatever you're putting on there. You can measure it out without having any issues. Alright, so for our purposes, I'm going to use this little thing here. I'm going to put it on my balance. And I'm going to tear it. Tear it. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And because I'm using one herb, you can just use a spoon. Now, if you're using multiple herbs, which you will later, if you're using multiple herbs, it's gonna be a little difficult to use a spoon, and you're gonna have a spoon for each one. So I'm probably just gonna like eyeball it and then like just pour it in. So we're going to go ahead and start this here. Now, I'm not gonna put that much. You see, I don't really have that much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go until I can't go anymore. How many grams of herb I'm gonna put in here? Ooh, I'm gonna mess with it. Alright, let's keep it going, let's keep it going, let's keep it going. I'm gonna get it to 40. That's my plan because 40 sounds like a good number to me. What do you think? Okay. 40. I got it. Alright. This is 40 grams of 40 grams of willow bark, white willow bark. Now the interesting thing about that is 40 grams of white willow bark could be different than 40 grams of elderflower or kava. So, you know, that's why it's good to have a layer, because they're different, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. It's a brand new jar, hard to get out. And we're just gonna go ahead and pour this in here. Ooh. Don't make a mess like I am. Alright. There we go, it's in there. So now 40 grams times 5 is 40 grams times 5 is 200. So I'm gonna go ahead and write 40 grams on this note card because I gotta remember what I did. 40 grams times 5, because it's a 1:5 ratio, equals 200 milliliters. Alright, so we're going to take our handy dandy measurer. This one is, it's like a pampered chef one my mom left here. It's mine now. So we're going to go ahead and pour 200 milliliters of 100 proof alcohol. And if you can't use alcohol, let's say you're way too young to get your hands on some alcohol, you can use vinegar. Vinegar, it has a very similar structure to alcohol, and you could use vinegar to extract the tincture. The only thing is, vinegar doesn't last as long, but not lasting as long doesn't really mean that much. Not lasting as long just means it, you know, it's not like 3 to 5 years. Tinctures last for 3 to 5 years. Vinegar may last like a year or like a year and a half. Alright, so go ahead and pour that in here. Look at that. So this is the thing. This is very important right here. We did this measuring. Go ahead and put the top on there. Did this measuring. You see how we put it in there, and it sinks. But you can see that this is not an inch above, you know? It's not an inch above this plant material, which I find is quite interesting that it's not above, because the folk method you put an inch above. This is way more focused. This is a focused way of doing this. And then, but the folk method isn't wrong. It's just different. Okay, so every day you're gonna shake this to make sure it really gets in there. Leafy stuff is way better because a lot of leafy stuff soaks in all of that, and you can't tell that it's like an inch above, like you have no idea. So this really works really well for leafy things, and it definitely works really well when you're combining different things, so you know how much of each thing is in there. Because for this, we know that this is all going to be this, right? But when you're trying to mix different things together and you want to make sure that there's enough of each constituent to actually heal someone, it's important to know how much of what thing is inside there. Alright, so you're going to shake this every day, at least 2 times a day for 10 to 14 days or a month. And for me, even if I forget, like let's say I just don't feel like straining it out and I don't feel like doing it, I'll just shake it some more. Make sure I keep shaking it every day just in case, because I don't want it to just sit in there and rot. I don't want that to happen. So go ahead and put that somewhere, let it sit. Let's move on to the next thing. So you got a bigger one. I probably should have got this one for the first one. All right. So we're making a sleep tincture. Got a new jar. Passionflower. Passionflower. We're gonna use passionflower, Kava root, and some lavender, because everyone likes lavender. And we're gonna use some orange peel. Now, what's important about this is that we need to know how much of each thing we're gonna put in there. Kava is very strong, and we don't need that much of it. So I'm gonna use one of these little scoops, and we're just gonna keep it going, right? And passionflower is pretty strong. Also, we really don't need that much of it, but I do want this to be the main constituent because I want it to really help people get to sleep, and I want Kava to help people get to sleep, and they work really well together. So I'm gonna go ahead and use those. All right. So I'm gonna make sure I rinse off this little spoon because we definitely used this already, and we don't want any contamination. I'm a health inspector, at least I used to be, and I'm all about that non-contamination. Hello, Lily. My dog is here. She's begging to go back outside. She went outside like a couple hours ago. You know what's up. All right. So we've done that. We're gonna turn it back on. We're gonna measure it out, and we're gonna tear it. Which somehow this thing is exactly the same size as the other one. That is really surprising for me. All right. So, 1 scoop of Kava. We're gonna do 2 scoops because we're gonna do 2 grams because I don't like this 1.8. I just don't want to do that. This is too annoying. 2 grams of Kava. And this is what 2 grams of Kava looks like. This stuff is so potent. Like, you don't even need that much of it. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the new jar. Actually, yeah, we're going to put that in the jar. So go ahead and put that in the new jar. Alright. We can use the same one because they're all going in this jar. So now, I'm about to get real lazy. So we're gonna go ahead and put about, I'm thinking 20 grams of lavender. Now this is gonna be 1 lavender tasting thing because lavender is actually, let's see, we're at 17. Lavender is soothing. I want whoever is using this to be soothed as well as knocked out. Alright, let's do this. And I've gone over. So, I've gone over. I can't put this back in there because this is contaminated. So, I'm going to write down how much is in here, and we're just going to have to rock with it. Alright, let's see. And then 20.61 grams of lavender. Just gonna have to rock with it. Alright. Yep, that's that one. It actually says lavender on the top. I just want to make sure. I like to smell it. I'm weird. Pay no attention to me. So now we're going to go ahead and put that in the jar. Try not to make any messes because I will make a mess. Should I go ahead and put this in here? Making a mess. I do have a funnel. Alright. I don't know why I didn't put this funnel in there, but let's put the funnel in there. Alright, so let's put this in here. Lots and lots of lavender. Lavender in there. Put it back on, and there may be little specks, so you're gonna want to tear it if it changes. So, passion flower. Let's see how much passion flower we're gonna put in here. As much as we can, because I really love this stuff. But it's leafy, so you know different things have different weights. You know we want to make sure that we can fit it all in the jar. We got a big jar, so we probably can. Alright, we're going to put 20 in here. See if we can do it freehand. We're at 19. It's hard out here. We fucked up. Alright, so we got 20.46. So we gotta write that down. Grams. Passionflower. Passionflower incarnata. I love saying that. Alright, so let's dump it down. I can put this one on there. And then we have one more after this. We have the orange peel, which is another very soothing, mild sedative. And it's going to be really good in combination with the lavender. That's why you got to go slow. Because things get stuck in here. Gotta sprinkle it so it don't get stuck. Now, the orange peel is so much easier, but I don't have that much of it, even though it's really easy to get, this orange peel. And this one is orange. This one is citrus sinensis. There's a bunch of different types of oranges, but this is the one I'm using. Very, very good for sleep. And I like how they like really grind it up. Try not to get too much in your nose. Now look at this. This right here is 20 grams of this stuff. This is 20 grams. You can see right now that everything is so different. So we're gonna go ahead and go to 25 because I've already gone too far. See if we can hit it on the nose. Ah! I got it at 25.05. It's not so bad, but still. And close it up just in case. Alright, so we're going to dump this 25.05 grams in here. Now, I used to be a scientist. Probably will be scientist again. I went to school for biology. So, of course, I'm all about the measurements. I want to make sure that everything is right. So 25.05 grams. Now, what's great is we actually have big numbers this time. And not big numbers, but more than we had last time, right? Of orange peel. Citrus sinensis. Alright. So, all together, we gotta do the math. Alright, 68.12 grams. 68.12 grams of herbs. Times 5. Because we're doing the 1 to 5. Got me doing real math out here. Alright, 340.60. We're going to have to ignore the 0.60, so we're going to go ahead and go with 341 because I'm pretty sure this doesn't have points in it. But we do have very easy to establish numbers, which is great. Alright, so pour 341 milliliters in here. There we go. Now that's the thing, you don't have to do it this way. It's actually much easier if you make individual tinctures. I'm just cleaning this off, but also pouring it in because these are all part of it. You don't have to make a mixture. It's much easier if you put a mixture of tinctures together that have already been pre-done rather than making a mixture of things all together. Now it does feel much cooler. It's like you're making a potion when you do it this way. Look at that. See that? So cool. It feels like you're making a potion when you do it this way. But you know, sometimes it's better to just do it you know, just separately. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, so you let this sit and you shake it. You want to label both of these exactly how you made it. So you're going to put all of the things in there: Kava, Lavender, Passionflower, orange peel, and 100 proof alcohol 1 to 5. The date that you did it, and you can put where you got all the stuff from. I would just put that on a note card so you remember, because you don't want to put too much on the bottle because it's just usually not that much room. Alright, and so we'll wait. Next, we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and strain it all out, and then we're going to make sure that we wrap this up. Hey guys, welcome back. So, we're going to go ahead and take our filter. I took a filter, and I put the filter in my funnel that I cleaned out, and then I poured this in here. This tincture. This is the pain tincture. Has a lot of has devil's claw in it. It has white willow bark and raspberry leaf in it. Those are very great for pain, especially arthritic pain, rheumatoid pain. So we're gonna go ahead and take this and we're gonna pour it into there, and we're gonna let it strain out. Then I'm going to go ahead and do it again in another jar. Now, once you get all this stuff out, once you get all of the liquid out, you're going to want to take the plant material and you're going to squeeze it. So I like to take the plant material and put another filter in there and then squeeze it out. This is better with muslin cloth. I never have any. You'd think I'd get some, right? So I squeeze it and squeeze it. So sometimes because I squeeze it, there's other plant material that gets in there. That's why I strain it again when I put it into another jar. So when that's done, it's going to be complete. It's going to look nice and clear, just like this. And then you can use it. You're ready to use it. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it down underneath the comments, or send me a message on one of my other platforms. Please like and subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you. Goodbye.